Mayor Katrina Foley, and this is a momentous day here in Costa Mesa. I have been up since 5 in the morning and out this morning with Judge Carter, our police chief, Clint Diebel from our police department, and we've been touring the city. We've been out with our outreach team, and we are today and from here on cleaning up Costa Mesa and saving lives. We are embarking on what has been long overdue in our community to restore the safety and the quality of our neighborhoods and to protect and secure people who need shelter. Shelter is one of the most basic needs of human beings. And without shelter, our bodies deteriorate, our mental health gets worse, and we no longer feel dignified, and our community feels less dignified as a result. So today, I can't tell you how thrilled I am that our city council, the full city council, all 7 of us, took an amazingly courageous step to shelter people in our community. And not just to provide shelter, but to provide them with outreach services, wraparound services, a case manager to make sure that they find permanent shelter. Because despite how nice this new facility is here, it is not a place for people to live forever. We need to take the next step and put them into permanent housing, assign them to recuperative care to take care of their health, make sure that they reconnect with their family members if they are from out of state. And we have an amazing team of city staff and our operator, Mercy House, our network for homeless solutions, our pastor, our outreach team of faith-based organizations, more than 600 volunteers who have signed up to help with this effort. And we are going to take people off our streets, take people from living on our sidewalks and in our parks, and move them into shelter, and then move them into permanent supportive housing and stabilize their lives. For 20 years, I have been hearing about how we are not taking care of the homeless in our community. That stops today because of this amazing group of people here. And so I'd like to give everyone a hand. We have a compassionate approach, but we also need to enforce our laws. And as of today, we will begin to enforce our anti-camping laws. We will expect people to take advantage of our services and move into the shelter. We will not allow or tolerate people to live in our parks, in our public spaces, in front of our small businesses, and burden our community any further because there is a home for them. We are going to take care of this street. These residents on this street have long had impacts here. We are going to make sure that they can live and enjoy the quality of their homes that they work so hard to pay for. We're going to street sweep. We're going to clean up the neighborhoods. We have all kinds of pressure washing coming. We are going to restore the Westside. There's many public works projects coming. And on April 26th, we're going to open our new library and our new community park. And we are all going to enjoy this beautiful place we call home in Costa Mesa. I want... But we can't do it alone. Costa Mesa is one city in 34 in our county. Every city must join us in doing this type of work in their community. If every city took the lead and opened a shelter and provided the services that the most chronically homeless, the most vulnerable in our community are suffering, we would all have less burden in terms of tax dollars, in terms of the quality of the neighborhoods, and in terms of the enormous amount of staff time that it takes to put this effort together. So we challenge our other cities in the County of Orange to follow our lead and let us be a model for you. Embrace this process because it works. And I think anyone here can see as you drive around Costa Mesa just today, it's already working. We already have one person that moved into the shelter who now has a plane ticket back home to her home in another state. It's working, and it will work better and better every day. Let's clap for that. Yeah. We need the other cities, but I also want to thank all of our community partners, the citizens of Costa Mesa, who embraced this project, the Costa Mesa City Council, who are all here and who embraced this. Pastor Phil Eiskins and Linda Miles of the Lighthouse Church, who allowed us to move in. And who will be our community partner in helping us to be a good neighbor and still provide services so we can save lives. The Network for Homeless Solutions, their volunteers, and all of our community partners. Net Development Construction, who helped us to get this project up and running and began the construction within 40 days, and here we are. Mesa Water District, Southern California Edison, Costa Mesa Sanitary District, who has contributed $50,000 to the restrooms, as well as another $50,000 to our permanent shelter. AT&T. Share Ourselves, who has long been a community partner caring for the most vulnerable in our community. The Crossings Church, who is part of our network. Mercy House, who is our new shelter operator and who we are so grateful. And the many vendors and consultants, including our amazing, and let me just repeat that, our amazing city staff who have been working around the clock to make this happen. I see Mr. Coleman here from Net Development. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you to our acting city manager, Tammy Letourneau, and our Parks and Community Services Director, Justin Martin, who didn't know that parks included shelters until recently. Thank you to our city attorney, Kim Barlow, for helping us to get the settlement agreement signed in Judge Carter's courtroom. Thank you to Kelly Telford for helping us find the funding for this project. Thank you to our police chief, Rob Sharknick, who has done an amazing job of training his staff to be compassionate, caring, but also enforce our laws. Thank you, Chief Sharknick. Thank you to Chief Stefano, whose paramedics are going to be so happy because they are trying to triage people all over the community, on the streets, in the parks, and now they have a safe place to care for people. And you know, it is also very important because opening this shelter, it also will relieve some pressure from our emergency rooms, because oftentimes what we see is our paramedics, they go out and then they have to take people to the emergency room because there's no place else for them to go. And they are now using our emergency rooms as shelter. We no longer have that pressure, and I'm really thrilled to see how those numbers change. I am overwhelmed by the amount of love that we have felt from this project. I'm also saddened by the fact that the opioid crisis in America is hitting us very hard right here in Costa Mesa. And one of the reasons why we have such a huge concern about homeless and addiction is in large part because of the opioid crisis. As many of you know, we lost our beloved firefighter, Captain Kriza, as a result of an individual driving under the influence of opioids. And he was prescribed these opioids by a doctor who was selling them, not for medical, but for profit. And so the city has filed a lawsuit against Big Pharma and Purdue and all of the pharmaceutical companies that have contributed to basically pushing drugs, opioids, into our communities, exacerbating the struggles of our residents and causing an exacerbation of our homeless crisis. And we filed that lawsuit last Friday. I'm pleased that Wiley Aiken here, who is an amazing attorney, has agreed to represent Captain Kriza's family, and he is here if you have any questions. But we are going to get back the costs that our community has endured because of the pushing of drugs into our communities by Big Pharma. And it's time that we make sure that that stops in America and in Costa Mesa. Captain Kriza was an 18-year veteran of our community. He leaves behind his wife, Shayna, and their 3 young daughters, Kaylee, who's 11, Layla, age 9, and Audrey, age 7. Just let that sink in. He was one of our beloved firefighters, and the opioid crisis is a huge part of what took him from us. There are many stories like that. It has to stop. We heard at our police recognition breakfast recently about a baby that our police officers went out on a call from because the baby had swallowed fentanyl. That gave me the chills. I don't know about all of you who were there, but I just got the chills immediately. The thought that a baby could swallow fentanyl and have to have emergency response. Fortunately, our officers and our paramedics were right there, prompt and on the call, and have saved that baby's life. But that is something that we should not have to tolerate in our community. This is a exciting day for Costa Mesa, but let's not forget that it is a day that we are here because of a lot of sadness, a lot of struggle, and a lot of hard times that people have endured. So let's hope that we can move forward, stabilize people's lives, save people's lives, and bring back Costa Mesa as a quality community where families can thrive, they can go to work, they can play in our parks, and they can take advantage of our beautiful community. So I thank you all for being here. I am going to introduce Councilmember Arlis Reynolds, who is our new District 5 representative, and you are right here in District 5. And after Arlis speaks, I'm going to give the judge an opportunity to say a few words, as well as our Assemblywoman, Cottie Petrie-Norris, who is going to continue to help us to solve these problems. Arlis?
So thank you all for being here. I don't know about you, but I'm completely overcome with emotion right now, just feeling all of the support in the community that we have standing here. As usual, the mayor was very thorough in covering all of the key points here. But I've been thinking about a conversation that I had last night with a friend about shared experiences. Laughing together, singing together, celebrating together, grieving together, as many of us have done here in this community. And how those shared experiences are really important for the strength of a community. And I think we've gotten to a place where we're very fragmented. We're very focused on our own lives, on surviving every day, and people have fallen through the cracks. We've allowed people to fall through the cracks, and those are the people that we're here to commit to help today, and to commit to help going forward. And I'm so proud of everyone in our community, as Mayor Foley mentioned, our council who took the vote. It's not easy. Your first vote as a new council member to vote to open a homeless shelter in your district, but it's absolutely the right decision. And I was pleasantly surprised by the response in our neighborhood when we talked to residents about why this was important and what this was going to do, not only for the neighborhood but for the people who we've let fall through the cracks. We've embraced this project. We're optimistic about this project. We're committed to this project. And that's a reflection of the Westside neighborhood, and that's a reflection of the Costa Mesa that I know, and that I grew up in. So I'm so proud, and thank you to everyone who's here and who's committed to this. On Wednesday, we had our soft opening. We brought in 8 clients into the shelter, and I just want to share one story that Mr. Martin shared with me. We had a woman who came in, hadn't taken a shower in 2 months. She got her towel, she got her some extra things to use. She took a shower and she came out and said she felt transformed. A simple shower. So when we talk about restoration, this is about restoring people's lives, restoring people's dignity, restoring our neighborhood, restoring our pride in this city and in our community, and really coming together again and starting to share experiences again. So thank you. This is just step one. A very, very big and important step, but it's step one in our efforts to end homelessness in Costa Mesa. Thank you all for being a part of it.
Thank you. Okay, the judge has asked that I defer to the State Assemblywoman if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you. Good morning. I am Assemblywoman Cottie Petrie-Norris. I represent California's 74th Assembly District, which includes Costa Mesa and surrounding cities. It's an honor to represent the people of Costa Mesa and to be here with you today. To start, I just want to commend Mayor Foley and this City Council and the Costa Mesa community as a whole. You have shown us what is possible with decisive leadership, with creative problem solving, and with the commitment of a caring and compassionate community. You have shown us all across Orange County, you've shown us what is possible. So thank you. Along with so many of my constituents, addressing Orange County's homelessness crisis is one of my top priorities. As your representative in our state government, I'm really focused on working with our local leaders on 3 things. Number 1, ensuring that Orange County is receiving our fair share of state funding to address this crisis. Number 2, ensuring that the state's money is being spent efficiently and effectively and going to programs that are working and that are transforming lives. And number 3, making sure that we are cutting red tape and eliminating unnecessary bureaucracy and regulations so that we can get capacity online as quickly as possible and save as many lives as possible. I think we all know that the scale of this crisis, it's staggering and it can often feel overwhelming. But when I look across this group of people and the people that are here today, I know that there is political will, there is commitment, there is compassion, there are good ideas and the resources to make those a reality. And I do believe that if we all work together, we can act now to save lives and to heal our communities. So thank you, and thank you for everything that you're doing to solve this crisis.
And then I want to introduce, who I don't think he needs any introduction, Judge Carter, who is transforming Orange County, and he's taken on this unique role as a judge who is leading in terms of making the communities address a crisis that we've let linger for a long time. So Judge Carter, do you want to say a few words?
First, let me say that this is an extraordinary journey. It's a journey that many communities are starting to take, but now you've taken this extraordinary step. And I'm so impressed, Assemblywoman, that you're here in support, Mayor, Council, the police chief, all of your officers who I've hoped visited with this morning, fire, and this wonderful city staff, but most importantly, you, the community, who are here. These are decent and good ordinances to enforce our neighborhoods, to keep public safety and public health, and they should be enforced by our communities. And when you take the step of building the shelter and complying the law, then you've got the full support of the court. It's just as simple as that. And now that you've taken that step, these ordinances will be enforced. They're being done humanely. You've given more than 2 weeks adequate notice. You're even giving additional notice to folks. So now there won't be any reason for enforcement to start. And it's been humane and it's been just so far. I want to just end by saying this. It's the beginning of the journey. It'll take constant vigilance. People will come back in a sense. But as long as we treat them humanely and we provide the shelter, then the alternative will be enforcement. So I want to thank you very much humbly. Mayor, just an extraordinary job. Something I want to thank you. And to the council, what a courageous step you took, because it's hard. These are hard issues. But once you do this, I think you're going to see an input back from your community with your retail sections coming back, your downtown coming back, and people just using your parks again and feeling safe, quite frankly. So if we can accomplish all that humanely for the public and for the homeless, I think you've hit a home run. Thank you.
Thank you. So then my final, wait, oh, I can't, finally, I just want to make sure I've introduced everyone. I want to thank our Economic and Development Services Director, Barry Curtis. Where are you, Barry? Thank you. Our Acting Public Services Director, Bart Mejia. Captain Brian Glass. Where's Captain Glass? Is he here still? There he is. And Sergeant Clint Diebel, who I will add, you can clap for him. There he is. Sergeant Diebel has lived in Costa Mesa his entire life. And it was great to be this morning riding with him to feel his compassion, his passion, and a sense of pride about what we're doing. It really is working. So thank you all for being here. And people are available for questions and comments if you would like to talk to them afterwards. But thank you.